So welcome to the SCC NextGen Career Development Day. This is our second Career Development Day, and we're so happy for you to be here. Hopefully it'll become an annual thing from now on. So just a quick little thing on the NextGen initiative. So this was launched in 2015 to address the needs of early careerists, young professionals, undergraduates, and graduate students in the cosmetic and personal care industry. We have special education events, networking, and other events specifically designed to assist the next generation of formulators, innovators, and groundbreakers in the industry. So this is today's schedule. We also have schedules and agendas on the tables. So we go from 9 to 3. You are welcome to come and go as you please. In the afternoon from 1:30 to 3 will be open networking with schools and companies that are looking to hire, and then also for schools that have cosmetic science programs. So with that, we're going to start the day of lectures, and the first lecture is Introduction to Cosmetic Science. I'm Marisa Plescia. A little bit of my background. So I actually wanted to be a cosmetic scientist since I was 8 years old. So I've been wanting to do this my entire life, and I'm actually living my dream right now. After graduating with a degree in biochemistry, I actually continued my cosmetic science education with a whole load of graduate programs in cosmetic science. So I went to University of Cincinnati and graduated with their Masters of Cosmetic Science there. And then I actually moved to Europe as well to do the dual degree EFCM program from ASIPCA in France. Currently, I am a cosmetic chemist at Bell International Laboratories in Eagan, Minnesota. It's a contract manufacturer specializing in sun care and skin care, and I have been there for 4 years. So first and foremost, I always like to say cosmetic chemistry is the art of science, creativity, and beauty. What people don't understand is cosmetic chemistry is a complex science, but at the same time with it, it is truly a creative science as well. And what we are doing here is we're helping people to feel better about themselves. So there really is this intersection of creativity behind it, art, and science. So kind of as we all know, cosmetics have been around for thousands and thousands of years in personal care products. They have been used in ancient civilizations for religious rituals, to enhance appearance, and obviously to promote cleanliness and good health. The ancient Egyptians used scented oils and creams to clean, mask body odor, and for protection against the sun and wind. Chinese and Japanese and the Indian cultures have used henna for thousands of years as well in many rituals. And then in the Middle Ages and the Renaissance era, we started seeing the import of perfumes to Europe and other makeup trends such as rouge for rosy cheeks, etc. And then by the 1900s, we really had a widespread use of cosmetics and personal care products globally. With a growing middle class and after the Industrial Revolution, people were able to buy products, and there was so much more in terms of chemical innovation of ingredients and materials that really led to the cosmetic industry growth. With women in the workforce, there was more disposable income, and so you've probably heard of like the lipstick effect and all those different things. So really what happened was that the beauty industry became ingrained in society with innovation and brands and products that we know, we love, and we use today. So this is the era where we start getting Max Factor, Revlon, Estee Lauder, Maybelline, L'Oreal, all those brands kind of developed in these 1900s. And I would be remiss to say this is also when the SCC was founded as well in 1945 by Mason G. Ed de Navarre. And we are on our 75th year this year as well. And the SCC is the oldest and largest nonprofit organization focused on providing and promoting cosmetic science education. So let's look a little bit at present day with the cosmetic industry. So obviously, as we know, as we could tell out there, the beauty industry is big business. Globally, the industry is strong, and it's only getting stronger. Currently, in 2020, it was valued at $483 billion globally, and $511 billion in 2021, and it's predicted to be $716 billion by 2025. So it's constantly growing. It's very strong. Skincare is going up, personal care, cosmetics, all the different facets of it is just increasing as well. Also, so we have to talk about this. Obviously, cosmetic versus drug is a big thing that we always discuss. Drugs by the FD&C Act are articles intended for the use in diagnosis, a cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease, intended to affect the structure or function of the body. That is not what we do as cosmetic chemists, right? We do cosmetics, which are articles that are intended to be rubbed, poured, sprinkled, sprayed on, introduced, or otherwise applied to the human body for just cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness, or altering appearance. Very important distinction between those two. However, in the US, we do kind of have a combo of them both. That is OTCs, over the counter. This is a cosmetic and a drug. They have aspects of both, attributes of both in them. Examples would be sun care, antiperspirants, anti-dandruff products, and these are monographed. So there's certain rules and regulations that you have to follow with those. So in terms of some categories for cosmetic science and in terms of products, we know there's so many. There's skincare, hair care, OTC, like I mentioned, personal body care, color cosmetics, household, nail products, oral care, fragrance. There are so many different categories in cosmetic science as it is. So when it comes to cosmetic science, what are we looking at? Well, I always kind of joke. People tell me, they're like, oh, you're a cosmetologist? I'm like, no. I'm a cosmetic scientist. I'm a cosmetic chemist. Because what we're doing here is the people don't realize that we are actually looking at complex science in order to make products for consumers to help them feel better, to help them promote good health, to beautify, etc. So, but what we're really doing, if you look, we're studying biology. We have skincare science. We have hair care science. We're studying all those different aspects to help with anti-aging, to help with wrinkles, to help with eczema, to help with all these different potential skin diseases, with the overall benefit of having a healthy skin barrier and having healthy skin. So when it comes to cosmetic science, and Dr. Baki will also touch on this later today, what I love about cosmetic science is we can't just say what cosmetic science is, because there's so much behind it. It is truly a multidisciplinary science, which is honestly why I got into it as well, is because I love all aspects of science. So with cosmetic science, we have, chemistry, obviously. We have biology. We have colloid and surface chemistry. We have physical chemistry, P-chem. A lot of people don't really realize that in terms of, for example, quantum theory when it comes to sunscreens. That's how sunscreens work, is by those theories. We have polymer chemistry, microbiology, of course, dermal pharmacology, and, studying how drugs enter the system, etc. We have physics, thermodynamics, very related to that. And then also, as we mentioned earlier, it's art. It is creativity behind that. So it's truly a multidisciplinary science. And we know this because we see it all the time in things that we do every single day. The classic example of cosmetic science is an emulsion, right? Oil and water, they don't work together. But through emulsifiers, through surfactants, kind of similar chemistry, we are able to take oil and water, form micelles through having hydrophilic heads and hydrophobic tails, and we are able to make lotions, creams, etc. And if you look at this is all those different aspects of cosmetic science rolled into one. You do have the chemistry here, you do have the physics in here, you have the pharmacology, you have all of these aspects rolled into this one example. And I make emulsions every single day of my life. But with this as well, there's so much more and so much more complication behind everything. This is a slide, and I want to thank Dr. Rickett for these pictures and kind of just the trip down memory lane where I pulled out all my old PowerPoints from my years at the master's program and just started choosing random photos that I saw in there. And honestly, didn't remember a lot of this information. But if you look, we have everything from protein studies, and protein chemistry, we have phase diagrams, we have electron orbital theories, we have contact angles, we have diffusion, we have van der Waals forces, and all of that related. So really, when you look at cosmetic chemistry, like we said, it is a true complicated science. So just to touch on it briefly, in terms of what I would say probably one of the most publicized and most known roles in cosmetic science is a cosmetic chemist. And what does a cosmetic chemist do? A cosmetic chemist develops formulas based on information given a project brief. We use advanced and traditional raw materials to create new technologies and textures, and part of our role as well is we stay up to date with trends, marketing, consumers, ingredients, et cetera, to develop desired products for our consumers. But at the end of the day, what is our job? What is our role? It's to create efficacious, stable, and aesthetically pleasing products for people to use and buy every single day. But besides a cosmetic chemist, there's so many other options out there for cosmetic science roles. You have biologists, you have analytical scientists, you have clinical scientists doing studies, you have chemical process and packaging engineers, you have quality control chemists, you have regulatory, toxicologists, research scientists, product development, you have marketing, you have technical sales. I'm probably missing some roles out there but this just goes to show you how many different career options and opportunities you have in the beauty industry. And with those roles, we obviously also have different environments that you could have these roles in. You have brands. So you have the multinationals that we know, right? L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Coty, LVMH. But then we also have a lot of more indie beauty brands and smaller brands as well. You have contract manufacturers. I remember when I was younger, I didn't know that a lot of brands out there worked with contract manufacturers. I didn't understand it. But contract manufacturers, they do the R&D and production for a lot of brands out there. They work with many different brands at a time. Working usually with the small to medium enterprises, and they offer turnkey formulas, or they offer, start to finish R&D and production. And this is a really, really fast-paced environment. I work in contract manufacturing. I absolutely love it because that's my personality. Then you also have suppliers, right? So we need to have the ingredients to put into our formulas. Suppliers, there's so many opportunities with suppliers that I don't think people talk about enough, because with this as well, you have the synthesis of new ingredients. You have the formulation of new ingredients. They need to know how to use their ingredients to show others. And you obviously have a lot of sales opportunities, marketing, et cetera, in those roles. You have testing laboratories, SPF testing, RIPT testing, clinical testing. And then obviously as well, and we see this all the time, consulting as well happens a lot in this industry, and those are some environments that we have. But at the end of the day, what's really important to note with all these different roles in the cosmetic industry is that at the heart of it is innovation. That's all what we're striving for, really. We take ideas, we take processes, we take our creativity, our vision, we take inspiration from consumers, from the world, and we grow that all together to develop innovative products for everyone, to help make them feel better about themselves and to beautify. So, in terms of cosmetic science education, we will be kind of going over this throughout the day, but I did want to do a quick little slide on this. So, in the past, most cosmetic chemists did not actually plan on being cosmetic chemists, right? They just kind of were working in the industry, were chemists, and found a job at some brands, in some lab, et cetera. But this is now changing, as we can see that we have so many opportunities now for students, and we have so many new programs and schools out there focusing on cosmetic science education. I don't consider myself that old, but even when I graduated, most of these programs didn't exist yet. So this is really up and coming, and these schools will also be here today throughout the day, and then from 1:30 to 3 p.m. if you would like to talk to them further. But this is kind of a smattering of the different schools that we have out there, right? University of Toledo, the undergrad program, University of Cincinnati, online masters, Fairleigh Dickinson, Long Island University, Manhattan College, Rutgers, FIT, Seton Hall. Those are the ones that are commonly in the United States, but then there's also a lot of international opportunities as well. I went to the international school, ISIPCA. My French is horrible, but Institut Supérieur International des Parfums, de la Cosmétique, de l'Aromatique. I think I'm so bad at that. But they have a European Fragrance and Cosmetic Masters program, which is 2 years. The London College of Fashion has a program as well in cosmetic design and science. And then actually there's many more schools all over the world. Russia has a lot of schools. China has schools, Singapore, which is just crazy to think about. So those are the more formal education routes, but you don't obviously have to do that as well. There are many certificates programs out there and also continuing education if you are interested in cosmetic chemistry. SCC obviously has a lot of education, and then there's various websites and other programs. For example, FIT has the Beauty Industry Essentials course, UCLA has a lot of courses in their extension, et cetera. So there's a ton out there in terms of if you're interested in a less formal education. And with that, there's so many cosmetic science resources out there that you could look towards. First and foremost, and I cannot say it enough, join the SCC, get involved with it. I have been a part of the SCC since I was a student, and I have found it to be the best place for me to network, to learn, and to make those connections. Internships are important, networking events are important. There's tons of industry magazines and news websites out there. Happy Magazine is a great resource, Cosmetic and Toiletries, Cosmetic Design. And as we know, there are also so many websites, blogs, Instagrams out there that focus on cosmetic science.